Welcome to another coding video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a very important concept in math and programming, modulus. We're going to be exploring these concepts using Scratch. Let's begin with a quick explanation. What is modulus? Modulus is the leftover after two numbers divide themselves. Okay, for instance, if 10 is divided by 3, 3 goes into 10 3 times and the remainder is 1. So we can say that 10 mod 3 is 1. And what we mean by that is that the remainder when 10 is divided by 3 is 1. Another example is if 15 is divided by 4. Okay, when 4 divides 15, it goes 3 times, remainder 3. Okay, so we can say that 15 mod 4 is equal to 3. Okay, another example, if we have 23 divided by 5, that will give us 4 and the remainder will be 3. So we can say 23 mod 5 is equal to 3. So in summary, modulus is the remainder after two numbers divide themselves. Now that we know the meaning of modulus, let's talk about modulus in Scratch. Okay, so Scratch has a built-in function to handle modulus. When you go to operators, you find a block for modulus. It takes in two values, divides them, and gives you the remainder.
So here, if I type 15, like in our example, and then I type 4 on this side, it will divide and give us the answer, and the answer is 3. So which means if 15 is divided by 4, the remainder is 3. If we try the first example, 13 mod 3, to divide 13 by 3 and give us the remainder. The remainder is 1.
So let's quickly write a program in Scratch that will get us the remainder after one number is divided by another number.
So in this program, we are going to create 3 variables. I'm going to create 3 variables. One is first number. We're going to create another variable. We're going to call the second number. And I want to also create a third variable that will store the modulus before we can now display it. So we can call this remainder. Okay, so now that we have these 3 variables, we can start coding. So when green flag is clicked, I would like to use a prompt so that the users can type in any 2 numbers they want. Okay, so we don't want to limit ourselves to just 2 numbers, but we can have people type in any 2 numbers. So we'll make a prompt and say enter first number. All right, and then we will take in what they typed and store it in the variable called first number. So when we ask enter first number, anything that is typed in will be used as first number. Okay, and then we'll ask again enter second number. Enter second number. Enter second number. And then same thing, we will set whatever the user type as our second number. So I'll change this to second number, and then go to sensing, and then this code answer is used to get what has been typed by a user. So if we test this code right now, we say enter first number. If I say 13, I say enter, you can see our first number here is 13, and it's prompting us to enter second number, say 3, and then enter. You can see our second number is 3. Now let's write the modulus. Now we're going to set the modulus variable. Set the modulus variable, change this to modulus. Okay, we'll call it remainder. To go to operators, and then we'll drag out that code, this code here, and then here, remember, it's going to take two values. The first value is going to take in is the first number, and the second value is going to take is the second number, and then we to divide the first number by the second number, and then we get the modulus. So we can, okay, let's do this. Enter first number 13, enter second number 3. Okay, you can see here that the remainder is 1. Okay, we can make this game a little more beautiful by making the sprite to also say the remainder is, and then it's going to show us the remainder. So we can go to looks, and then we'll say hello, but instead of hello, we will go to operators. I want to use this code, okay, and here we're going to say the remainder, I say is, and then here now I'm going to drag in the code remainder. So what we're going to get in essence here is whatever the remainder is, which is 1, this the sprite is going to say the remainder is, and say 1. All right, so enter first number, let's use 15, enter second number, let's use 4, and I said the remainder is 3. Okay, we can take this a little one step further by initializing these values to 0. Anytime we start this game, the values should initialize to 0 until we enter new values, and we can do this by setting each of the variable to 0 at the start of the program. So first number 0, second number set to 0, third number remainder set to 0. So once we click the green flag to start the game, everything turns to 0 until we enter new value. So this is a simple game, simple program to calculate the modulus of any two numbers. Okay, we're not restricted to any number, so any two numbers calculate the modulus.
So modulus is super handy when we want to test if a number can divide another number. Modulus is used in the test for divisibility. If we want to check if a number can divide into another number, we use modulus. So the idea is that if a number divides exactly into another number, the modulus is going to be 0. That means the remainder will be 0. So if 4 is divided by 2, we get 2, remainder 0. Nothing remains. So that means 4 can be divided by 2. Same thing goes if 20 is divided by 5. It goes 4 times, and the remainder is 0, which means 20 can be divided by 5. So if we want to check for divisibility, if the remainder is 0, it means that number is divisible. Otherwise, if there is any remainder, then the number is not divisible by whatever number is in question.
I'm going to continue from the game that we already have. Now we have been able to obtain the remainder here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this last code. Okay, what we want to now check is for divisibility. We don't want to display remainder, so what we'll have to do right now is to check if the remainder is 0 or not. So we're going to go to control, and then we'll go to if, then we'll take an if statement, if then else, and then we're going to say if. So we'll go to operators, and then we'll take this for equal to. All right, here we're going to say if the variable, or if the remainder, the variable called remainder is exactly 0. Okay, if it's 0, then it means that the second number exactly divides into the first number. So we'll go to loops, and we can drag out this, and we can say, so let me do what I just did in the previous code. I'm going to add this, and let me make this more interactive. I'll add that again now. So I'm going to say three. Okay, so I'm going to go to variables, and then I'm going to say first number. Okay, and then I'm going to do this divisible by, then I'm going to drag second number. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll just copy this, I'll duplicate this code, and add this here. Let me put this back in here. So if the remainder is 0, it means that the first number is divisible by second. So if the first number is 15, the second number is 3, it's going to say 15 is divisible by 3. And if it's not equal to 0, so we're going to say first number is not, okay, not divisible, is not divisible by the second number. All right. So let's run this program and test for divisibility. Enter your two numbers. The first number I'm going to do is 20. Second number, I'll say 5. So you say 20 is divisible by 5 because when we divide 20 by 5, the remainder is 0. Okay, so let's try. I'm going to increase this so that the result can persist for some time before it goes off. All right, so let's run this program again. So enter first number, I said 70. Enter second number, let me say 9. Okay, when 70 is divided by 9, the remainder is 7. So it says 70 is not divisible by 9. 70 is not divisible by 9. Okay, we can try one last. 65. Enter 13. So 65 mod 13. Okay, 65 mod 13. 65 is divisible by 13. So you can see that. All right, so we can use Modulus to check for this divisibility. All right,